Hey everybody, it's Darkstrider, and today I'm a little suspicious of our favorite little arms dealer here, Reda. The guy travels the desert by himself. He's clearly a child. It's just him and his camel, and they have all these exotic weapons and just legendary items that they're able to sell to you, or you're able to buy in Heka chests. That's kind of suspicious. That's kind of weird. So I believe that he may be immortal. He may have some kind of power where he existed for such a long time. He doesn't even tell us his true parentage. He doesn't tell us the truth about what's going on with his parents. Now, that's just one of a few stories that Reda will tell us. He'll retcon his whole past. But the thing is, this guy has no family.
So how about you use
He has no other family.
It'll suit you just
Nobody
fine.
else that has taken care of him. Why doesn't he have anybody else to look out for him? Why is he able to just wander the desert? Who just lets a kid do that? The kid actually has some kind of smarts and savviness if he's able to survive by himself with a camel, selling goods to other people. How is he not mugged? How is he not robbed? There are a lot of questions there. A lot of questions there. This child is allowed and able to wander the desert with no problems, and we're to believe that these Phalakites actually chased after his family and decided to leave him alone. They stopped at him. Why? Why did they draw the line there? How is it that this kid is able to do all this? What adds to my gripe is the fact that throughout this game series, we're to believe that this game takes place, let's say, with all the DLCs, over the course of about 10 years. You complete Egypt, you go to Sinai, it's supposed to be like 2 to 4 years later, and then after that, you go to Valley of the Kings, and that's almost 6 years later. Okay? So in all that time, we still have a young Reda. What's going on? How is he able to stay so young for so long throughout the course of 3 games? And I know. Let's go for the easiest possible thing. It's programmer laziness. They just didn't feel like programming him, to be older in any of the games. So that way, you could go from Egypt and he's young, you go to Sinai and maybe he's just a couple of years older, and then you go to the Valley of the Kings and he's an adult. That's how I would program it. But they didn't do that. And even so, even if they wanted to, they could have had him continue to grow during all that time, where even where you completed all the DLCs, he's still the same age as the last DLC you completed. But they didn't do that. And I know a lot of people are just like, it's just programmer laziness. But let's think about this closely. Now, as I take you on this ride, there's going to be spoilers. And it's going to go across all the DLCs and everything. So, here we go. We start right here when you're slaying the scarab, or you're trying to slay the scarab.
Grandfather, are you all right?
You remember Kawab.
Is he hurt?
Banged up, bruised, and thirsty.
You saved
Soldiers
his
do not take kindly
grandfather.
to him, but
You
he will
helped
be
his
all right.
father defeat a bunch of
Where's your father,
insurgents.
Kawab? We must speak of this.
Father is away on his
But-
great work.
Along
Mother,
with doing all
grandfather
that,
is hurt.
in the
Soldiers
end,
mistook him
you
for
know
a
what
beggar
happens.
again.
Father!
Forever the ruler of the Topolis!
After killing his dad, the man who once called you
Taaka's little
Uncle
boy has
Bayek
grown up.
And
is
you,
now
Magi, have aged
an adult.
poorly.
At this point, he starts the Shadows of the Scarab, which basically are a way of him keeping like the memory of his father alive. and hunting
You have come to
Bayek down.
defend Tahaka's honor, but you forget, he never had any.
My father was the great steward of Letopolis.
And you got to remember that
This is foolish.
we'll
You're not the
lowball it.
same
This
as
will
your
be
father.
like 2 to 4
For
years
his honor!
after the events
No!
in Egypt, out here
No!
in Sinai.
Cursed! My family is cursed to die at your hands.
And you got to remember as well that this is, you know, in the Sinai region. So after 2 to 4
Still winning.
years, here is Kawab, an adult. Well, maybe not even adult,
Kawab.
maybe a young adult.
Do not
Maybe
make the
he's a
same
little
mistakes your
older of a
father did.
teenager. But Reda is
What
still
other
a
option do I
child.
have?
Still a child in the Sinai region. Well, that's fine. I'll give you another example. See if you remember this.
Whoa! What's that man doing up there?
Go to synchronize. You heard that little boy talking. And as soon as you jump off, he's pretty entertained about it.
Apape, Billy. Do you know Rasi?
And this is where we meet this little guy.
Mister, over here. That was the greatest thing I ever witnessed. And I once saw a snake swallow a cat whole.
A cat? Really? And who are you?
Esiocles. But all my friends call me Esio.
Yeah,
Well,
Ezio,
I'm
Isocles.
Oshkaldin Kardashian.
Unless the legend is a lie, you are the man I long to meet. Renowned master and mentor. Ezio Auditore de la la la. Prego.
Yeah, not that guy.
Forgive me.
Adventure with Ezio. And he's kind of memorable
Well,
because some people
anyway,
actually
He
believe
spent
that
10,000
he's like
drachma on a floor
shout
made of
out
little
to
squares.
the actual
All
Ezio.
that for some way you wash.
But,
When
I mean,
grow
that's
up,
something
I
for
want to
another
have a
time.
wife who'll never make me
Anyway,
wash.
this little guy,
Wives like that are hard to
when
find.
we go over
Ezio.
to the Valley of the Kings, we find out a little more about him as well. And if you come to this small fishing village over here at night, you'll be able to run into our old friend Ezio again.
Bayek, can it really be you? I can't believe it. The flea of Cyrene here in Yebu?
No. Little Ezio,
Not so little anymore.
what are you doing here? Is Mintos with you?
I haven't seen him since he left Cyrene, but he sent me a small fortune to set myself up.
And what did you set yourself up as?
Well, this is a smuggler's village, so
You are a smuggler?
I am hoping to be. I heard that there is a merchant woman. She transports lotus wine from here to Rome and...
Theocles, if I was your father, I would be ashamed. You waste your talents on criminal schemes.
I
would send you back to Cyrene, but I fear the mischief you would cause there. I do not want to have to explain to Diocles why.
All right, Flea, all right. You have made your point. A life of crime is no life.
Go to Rome. Find a friend of mine, Amunet. Tell her I sent you and she will keep your idle hands busy.
And there you have it. Little Ezio is a smuggler, or was a smuggler. And now he's going to go work for Aya. But once again, what is the deal with Reda? This is now anywhere from between 4 and almost 10 years after the events of Bayek's adventures in Egypt, in which he stopped the Templars. So what's going on? Why does Reda remain young? That's the question. Now, it's entirely possible that our little friend Reda has a disease known as, and excuse me if I butcher this, focal segmental glomerulosclerosis. I hope I said that right. Anyway, it's a kidney disease that affects and stunts growth. There were a couple of actors back in the 80s that had it, Gary Coleman and Emmanuel Lewis, both of which never grew past a certain age, making their characters childlike, forever, for their entire career. So that is possible. Now, what happens is that it's a scarring of a part of the kidney, which prevents that from happening. Now, that could be due to familial issues. It could be like hereditary. It could be, just something in your genealogy. Or it could be through toxins and drugs. Okay, now drugs, like most current drugs, that's another reason not to do drugs, kids. Really bad man-made drugs and whatnot and toxins like that could also affect the kidney in that way. But for some reason, I really don't think that that was going on here. All right, Reda just seems way too old for his age and way too wise and well-traveled. So, again, I don't believe that that's what's going on. Lazy programming, I can't buy either because, even though it's a game where, years have transpired, like here's in Thebes, and we still see him, he's a child. Years have transpired, and you got to understand, this is a game where camels take a dump if you leave them and just watch them standing there for a little while, okay? There are day and night cycles. People go to sleep in this game. You can catch guards peeing and, murder them while they're doing that. There is so much detail in this game that to write this off as just lazy programming, it just doesn't seem right. I think that maybe one of the relics that he's carrying or one of the items he's carrying is actually one of the pieces of Eden, and it has affected him in some way, possibly even giving him eternal light. And he touched it when he was a child.
We'll catch up on it later.
Call me crazy all you want, brochachos and brochachas, but I'm pretty sure that in the previous entry, we found another person who lived for a very long time after dealing with the relics.
Your surname is Roberts. Is this so?
And while this guy is the sage who the Templars are after in order to get to the observatory in Assassin's Creed 4, in the present day, you run into him and he's known as John the IT guy.
Mr. Roberts will be eager to provide it.
So
Transfer him to my residence.
it is not, in any sense of the word, a stretch to believe that Reda is immortal.
Such a
So Reda's origins are still in question, but is it a far cry to believe that his origins are just a little bit primal? Oh my god! So anyway, in closing, that's my belief on Reda. I believe that he is immortal. He may have somehow gotten hold of some sort of relic or artifact or piece of Eden that actually made him immortal, kind of like John Roberts from Assassin's Creed 4, and Reda himself is a cleric. I believe Reda is going to live, if not forever, a very, very long time, and I believe he's stuck in the body of a child, like you see him now. He's always, always youthful, always roaming the deserts by himself. He's just well beyond his years as far as knowledge and everything goes. He's just a slick little kid, and it's just too slick for my taste. So I believe that Reda actually outlived his family, and right now he's just opened the Nomad's Bazaar, wandering in a caravan. This is where he is for now. I have a feeling that he was drawn to Bayek and kind of knows a little more than he's letting on, and just wanted to help Bayek this whole time. I believe that he will be seen in further games. I might even go as far as to say that I believe we'll even see him in the present day as he's dealing with Layla Hassan and Bill Miles. I can totally see that. All right, just as John Roberts was seen helping your character or asking your character to do favors for him in Assassin's Creed 4 in Abstergo's labs. So, like I said, that's my take. I don't know what piece of Eden it was. I'm looking a little deeper to see if I could figure that out. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. And just let me know what your feelings are. Do you believe that Reda is immortal? Do you believe that he's touched the piece of Eden? Do you believe that maybe he just has this kidney disease where, you know, it just keeps you looking youthful? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Let the community know in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching.